All right, welcome everyone to our CryptoFrogs AMA with FTT token. Today we've got Terry Jr., Adam, and
Antonia.
Sorry, Antonia. Sorry, completely lost my mind. Yeah, welcome guys. So let's start off with an introduction from the team, and who you guys all are.
Yeah. So I'm Terry Jr. by name. I'm the COO, Chief Operating Officer of Flash Technologies. I'm also an incubator of Pinkcell. I'm recognized as a marketing firm with Pinkcell, and I'm also specialized in press release. For the people that have seen me in the space, I've more than 10 or 15 projects to raise already. Some funds on Pinkcell. So we have been developing this project for a while now. And okay, first of all, I'm here with Adam. Adam, that is one of our speakers, and also Antonia, that's our chief community admin. She's also with us. So I'm going to leave her to give a brief presentation of the ecosystem before we come back and give more explanation. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Before I do, maybe I can introduce myself, or maybe Adam, you can introduce yourself, then I'll go next after.
Oh, sure. Well, I just wanted to say, I'm no stranger to Terry. I consider him quite a good friend in this crypto space. We also have mutual friends that have done some huge things on Pinkcell, specifically Kron, who's a mutual friend of ours. You guys might know him as well. One of the most well-known incubators in this space when it comes to Pinkcell, and also a supporter of FTT token in its pre-sale. On his private channel, which is great. But anyways, to me, just in short, I do voice work, specifically AMAs, Twitter Spaces, Telegram, all of that sort of thing, the last 3 years. I've had the pleasure of being able to meet individuals like Terry and other core team members on assorted teams that have really, even in the bear cycle, given me inspiration to keep pushing. I actually became full-time crypto in the last year. Prior to that, I worked managing some larger teams in Fortune 500 companies, specifically Samsung. And I left that to do this, and I would never look back. So that's a little bit about myself. Really happy to be along, the likes of Terry and Antonia here to bring you guys FTT. So I'm going to turn it over to Antonia to tell us a little bit about herself.
Thanks, Adam. Everyone, hi, my name is Antonia, obviously. Some people call me Full Start, but you can call me Antonia or whatever floats your boat, really. I've been in the crypto space for 3 years and a bit. And I actually met Terry in the crypto space. We've been working together for a long time on different things, and obviously I'm part of this project, which I love very much, and I can't actually wait to talk you through what we have in store. But outside this, I work in the wealth management space, specifically in compliance. So I do know a bit about regulations and things like that. And yeah, I love crypto as well. I love talking about crypto. I love hosting crypto projects. So that's basically what I do in a nutshell. So Terry did say that I can go ahead and talk through our products and services. Is that all right by you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Okay.
If you guys don't mind, I've got a kind of little format here with a bunch of questions I have for you. So we'll work through that in a minute. So yeah, just to say about it's really good that you guys are well connected. I know Terry's working with Pinkcell and stuff. Obviously, the more experienced, the more well known you guys are, and the more well known team members are, the better usually a project does. Especially considering trust, because trust is a huge factor in crypto and pretty much everything in the Web3 space. Especially considering you guys are doxed and KYC and also audited. But before we talk about everything Flash has to offer, I'm curious to know why you guys went down the pre-sale route. If you can just quickly touch on that.
Yeah. So I'm glad to answer this. Yeah, so Flash Technologies is a money transfer company, So we brought all this. We brought a lot of utility. We brought a lot of new things, So concerning the tokens, because this is the question. I mean, the question is why is that we made the launch? Why is that we make this pre-sale on Pink Sale? Yeah, actually, seeing the utility, seeing the amount of development, for Flash Technologies, the team is about to bring a lot of different stuffs. So all these things cost, let me say, some amount of time and some amount of money. So for development, for the wallet, for the D apps, for all the features that we're bringing, So one of the reasons why we bring the tokens is for the team, first of all, to give to bring something new in the space. That's one, and two, the reason behind the raise is, for the development, because as we know, development takes time and takes a lot of financial issues. So yeah, so this is it. So this is one of the reasons why we decided to make the launch of FTT after the one of Flash 3.0. If Antonio have something to say, or Adam has something to say, I'll be glad to listen to them. Yeah.
Could I jump in with here? Just something that really pulled my attention, right? Kind of following everything within the Flash ecosystem, right? Of Flash Technologies. Something that I saw was a outpouring of, excitement around this as an entire company, as an ecosystem. Actually, in this YouTube review, he says it best, right? He doesn't support many tokens, but when he does, he usually is looking for something with cash flow, right? Something that is structured as a business that's answering a real world question. Now, of course, when it comes to this specific token, I think it just boils down to people want a vote, which this answers, being a governance token. People want to be able to have a token that has pump potential with verifiable buybacks. This has that. And then also just knowing that it's from a team that had done a 5x on the past token they had done in a red market. Also, this is something very important for people to realize. You have other, large players in this space, and some that have grown to be large, such as Ethereum, with multiple tokens, right? This is not kind of like a very odd thing. Usually there'll be like a reward token and a main, or there'll be a governance token such as this with more utility. This is very normal, but the question is, are you doing something with it? And if it's answering a core problem, if you have a team that's fully doxed like Terry and the rest of the team is, and the dev team, by the way, which is very important, then you have a little bit of, I don't want to say like chain of custody, but you at least know where things are going, right? You know that the platform is being developed out. There's been tons of updates that have been shared. There's parts of this that are also working in their full form that you can try yourself, actually a lot of it. And we'll get into that, but I just think that's important for people to understand that it's a bit of a norm, especially with fundraising being the way it is in the crypto space. Pair that with a green market, and it's coming at a pretty good time. But that's just my viewpoint there. But Antonia, did you want to share anything there?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that with all of this, what we're essentially trying to do is to make life easier for people to step in where we find, say, gaps and opportunities that investors like you and I can essentially benefit from. And that's why we're here. We're always constantly trying to look for the next best thing, trying to plug in gaps, trying to make sure that people benefit from anything related to this project. And that's why we're going to be presenting lots and lots of products and utilities for your delectation today. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to add with regards to FTT.
Fantastic, amazing stuff, guys. Honestly, I can understand why the pre-sale route, especially with the utilities you guys have to offer. And considering you're structuring it like a business, it's something that we love to see. We host a lot of projects here, and mostly long-time utility projects, and having a pre-sale is generally pretty common. It involves a lot of funding, for different utilities and such. So I can understand that. So just before we talk about, we dive deep into the utilities and what actually Flash is. On the PinkSale listing, it says that you guys are a registered LLC. Could you briefly expand on that and just mention what country maybe you're registered in and how that's all going to work?
Yeah, I can give an answer to this. So, Flash Technologies is actually a registered company. In Dubai. So we have a registry number, and so is officially there. So I can even send it to you. It's also on the website. At the bottom of the website, you can see the number of registry. And everything. So we are registered in Dubai, and very soon we're going to be registered in France. So we're talking about it with the CEO. Last week. Yeah.
Fantastic. I actually just came back from Dubai, I think 2 weeks ago or something. It's such a nice place to be.
Cool.
I wish I could be there, genuinely.
I was there 2 years ago, yeah.
It's also where CZ likes to spend a lot of his time, so
maybe
there's a crossover there.
Yeah, sure.
I don't run into him, unfortunately. Maybe one day, though. But yeah, so from my understanding, Flash Transfer is your flagship product, right? Which lets people buy crypto with cash and vice versa. So how exactly will this platform work, and how different is it from a typical exchange, or maybe buying from something like, within Trust Wallet?
Okay. I think Antonia is going to give the overall explanation, and then we're going to dive into the details if you want to go for every utility. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. To your question about the mother of all Flash Transfer, this is basically a worldwide money transfer service where, say, people like you and I, also known as users, obviously, will be able to send crypto to cash and vice versa. And that's basically going to be done through our merchant partner outlets that are stationed in, I think, over 180 countries, if I'm not mistaken. And the user at the other end would basically collect the cash without the need for a middleman, basically. Just to break it down, because I'm sure I said that really quickly. Number one, you as customer one, you would create an account on the Flash Technology Money Transfer website, and then you credit that account using your bank card or your crypto wallet. And once that deposit is received immediately, what you can then do is you send stable coins basically to another customer, say customer B, and that customer B has to have a Flash account also. Yeah. So customer B can then withdraw his or her stable coins in euros, dollars, or whatever it is through our partner outlets. And then customer B obviously receives that stable coin and job's done, essentially. What we're trying to do is to take over the likes of your Remitly, your Revolut, and your money transfer companies. So what was the most famous one we know? Orange it's not Remitly, but your Western Unions, basically. I think
MoneyGram?
Most people would be MoneyGram, Western Union. Most people would be familiar with that, basically. So we're just tapping into that market, and essentially we're going to take over. Now it's interesting because we've been working on this for a very long time, and this is something that we definitely know will work and has very big potential out there, because we already have partnerships with a lot of firms, and Terry will go into that, especially the one that I mentioned, which has 180 different partner outlets all over the world. We've already secured partnerships with them, so we already have the ball rolling, if that makes sense. So that's one of our products in this project. So that's the Flash transfer. So I can go into the other ones, but I'm not sure whether you want to ask questions and then we move on, or how you want to.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, in terms of your partners and, I guess what you call merchants, what does that kind of include? And, how is that kind of going to work? Is it like a crypto to, bank? Or is it, what are your partners basically?
Okay, yeah, I'm going to answer that question. So actually, just to make it simple for people to understand, it's actually a platform like Western Union, whereby you can send money and another person will receive by the other side. But the only difference is that Western Union is operating fiat to fiat. You have money in cash or fiat, and you send to somebody and the person will receive it somewhere, in the world, let me say in Africa, or from Europe to Africa. But what Flash technology is bringing is sending money like fiat to cash and cash to fiat as well. And also from crypto to fiat, So this is what Flash technology is bringing, is money transfer, but it's operating from crypto to fiat and crypto to cash as well. That's the difference, because MoneyGram or Western Union, they are operating only fiat to fiat, just to make this point clear. Now, concerning the partners, the first partner that we started to talk with was Binance Connect. Binance Connect, they were actually working with 180 countries already. So that was the first partner that we start talking with. But there is a second big partner that we start talking with, is RIA. That one we started almost a month ago, because the business developer of RIA France was in contact with the CEO. Just to bring it back, the CEO is also from France. He's based in Paris. So he got in contact with the business developer of RIA to talk about a partnership, a potential partnership with RIA. And this partnership will give us access to over 500K shops, because RIA is one of the leading, on the market at the moment. They are almost, second after Western Union at the moment. Yeah. So this is how the partnership is going to work. If we are partnered with RIA, in every RIA agency, we can as well operate, because they like the concept, because it includes crypto and they don't have crypto. All what they have is fiat to fiat. You understand what I mean? So so we are bringing something new. That's why they are like type of interested in the project. Yeah, thank you.
I understand what you mean. So essentially, you're partnering with people who already offer cash or fiat to fiat, money transfers worldwide to bring on that additional, ability to exchange crypto to cash.
Sure. That's it.
The other thing too is when we're talking about the delineation between fiat and cash, right? At least to me, and feel free to correct me, of course, guys, but to me, when I say cash, I mean liquid. I have access to it fast. I have access to it cheap, right? I'm getting it almost, instantaneous. That is the value prop for these partners when they're looking to get in a serious crypto partner. They want someone who understands the industry. They want someone that has a scalable solution. They want something that's battle tested. And this is that ecosystem. That's why, they've been so keen to partner, and why we have partnerships, as Terry mentioned, as soon as last month, right? So I just wanted to mention that as well. It's consumer focused, but it's also business to business focused as well when we think about, the way this ecosystem works.
Also game. So actually, a point I wanted to touch on your pink sale listing, talking about partners and stuff, it says you guys have 100,000 merchants and partners for Flash Transfer. Is that including, I guess, all of the, partners like RIA and stuff, their outlets, or is that 100,000 separate merchants and partners?
No, that's, this amount is even approximate, is even more than that. We just gave an approximate amount, is even more than that. If we include RIA and what Binance Connect can offer, it's way more than that. But we wanted to just be modest and give Yeah, a low amount. If not, it's more than that. If this partnership with RIA is concluded, it's going to be like 5x of this.
Okay, I get you. So how does someone become a merchant? Or can anyone become a merchant? How does that work?
Yeah, we have a Google Doc where we share it in the group because just to mention, this is very important for people to know. This project has been over 2.6 years, like let me say going to 3 years now. Yeah, so it's not like a project of 2 months ago or 3 months ago and then coming for money raising. We have been there in the space for a long time. We have done a lot of AMAs with big callers. Gollum, Traveler, all the guys that you know in the space. So we are there for a while now. So all these people, all this one, we have been working on it since a while. It's not something that is just a few months ago. So yeah.
Oh, Alan, I think you're on mute.
Hello?
Sorry,
Hello?
my Telegram
Hello?
bugged
Yeah,
out there. Wouldn't let me unmute.
Micro, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I get you. So it's good to know that you guys aren't overestimating or trying to put out numbers you're not too quite sure about. It's quite good.
Exactly. And I really do think it's sort of bucking the trend, right? You see some of these utility-based projects where they're selling you a white paper, and the white paper might look amazing, but at the end of the day, you're selling a white paper. When you have something that has verifiable utility, it makes sense, and also you're able to demo it yourself, that's a win, right? That's why, as we're talking, BNB's coming in, people are, learning from this, they're discovering, they're enjoying this process because they see something different. And again, these partners can double, triple, even more than what's on here, as Terry was saying. So you have to think about, how big is this industry? It's massive, right? Like the remittance industry is absolutely huge. And that's just from the retail side. That's not even including the B2B side of things. So just to kind of flesh out scale, I think it's important for people to think of that too.
Of course, yeah. I mean, sorry, in terms of white papers as well, I mean, some people in this space think of white papers as being kind of wish lists, or kind of the ideal situation. But, it's not very often that we see a white paper that's actually been, done previously, I guess, or have actually had progress happen prior to the release or prior to, the project going public or having its ICO like this. So the fact that, you guys have also not only made a white paper about what's happening, but also what has happened and what you have done already speaks for itself, to be honest.
Yeah, we've been, as Terry said, we've been here for the last 2.5 years, constantly grinding, working, making sure that we're bringing something to the table, something tangible to the table, because you probably have noticed that a lot of projects come in, they launch, and then they go away for I don't know how many months and start developing their products and that sort of thing, and it all dies down. But obviously we did things the other way around. We've been working on this for the past 2.5 years, 2.6 years actually. And yeah, that's basically what we've been doing, relying on our own funds, mostly, which Terry can talk to you about at some point. But yeah, that's basically what we've been doing, making sure that we can bring something good to the table, something unique to the table, something that people haven't seen in the market, basically. And that's why we are here.
Of course. Yeah, fantastic. Well, how do you guys plan to ensure, I guess, the kind of long-term sustainability of, Flash technologies and stuff?
So I can...
Yeah, concerning that. Okay, yeah, you can go on.
So I just want to mention this, right? When you have sort of separation between the different parts of the ecosystem, and you have a very easy to understand way to capture the value created within this ecosystem, I think that's how you see sustainable growth. So for example, right, FTT token here, as I mentioned at the top of the hour, by the way, trending #1, always like to see that. So happy we're in this AMA. What we're looking at with this token is very, very simple, and it's easy to be able to spread and let people know about. Is you're getting governance access, you're getting buyback, buy pressure on this token specifically, and also it's going to be leveraged for some other aspects of the token as well. But that's where this lives. So when you're looking at long-term longevity, well, you can have a token that you feel good about supporting because you know that this ecosystem is going to generate revenue. Again, this is not a niche market. This is one that needs addressing. As we saw in the white paper here, I just pulled this up for reference. You can see the global market money transfer size is looking to grow exponentially in the next 6 years. We're going into a Web3 economy. Whether people believe it or not, it's happening. We know it, but most of the world doesn't necessarily. And again, that's why they're open to partnerships. So to me, that question is a question of, is there a concrete reason for people to hold? Is there a concrete reason for people to invest and hold? And the answer is yes, because there's revenue that's going to be generated. It's an expanding market. It's a verifiable team. If you're taking it from the super degen route, the last token that was part of this ecosystem, did a 5x in a bad market, not the market we're seeing right now with some pumps and Bitcoin halving months closer now. That would be my view on it, at least. But I know, Terry, you probably wanted to add to that.
Yeah, I just want to add a little thing. I always say that what keeps a project going is utility. I always mention it. This is very important. And utility is what is going to keep us for the long run. When you see something like the dead wallet, something never seen before in crypto space that we are implementing, we haven't even talked about it. The dead wallet, having your money, your funds on your MetaMask, for instance, and then you lose your seed phrase. And with the dead wallet, you are able to recover it in a decentralized way. Or somebody, something happened to anything can happen to anyone. You can die, or you can have a problem, and then you don't have access to your fund, and then is being sent automatically to a person that you have choose previously. So those things are what keeps a project going, for the long run. The sustainability. I think this is also one of the things, even CZ Binance said it is on the website, on the site of Flash Wallet, that what if you die? You're holding funds. What if you die? What happens? You lose your funds. So that means there is a need of it, and Flash Technology is bringing that. So this is one of the things that we should look at. Not only the financial aspect, because if you want to talk about the financial aspect, there are too many advantages. The last money transfer project, online money transfer project that I don't know if you know, is the name is Remitly. It has been sold for $200 million. So this ecosystem, this is financially is really big. The money transfer ecosystem is really, really big. So if you're thinking about long term, think about all those numbers and also about the utility. Yeah, thank you.
I was just going to add to that, actually, because this is like one of my favorites, and I'm sure it's one of Adam's and Terry's favorites as well. This dead wallet. I know the name sounds gruesome, but it is what it is, basically. Now, the contract itself is linked to a timer, and this timer automatically triggers like the transfer of money out of the wallet once the period of time that you set yourself has elapsed. And this is not going to cost you anything. So how cool is that? You're literally in complete control. So it's time bound. You set the parameters. You nominate whatever account you wish for the account to inherit it. So that's basically what this is in a nutshell. It is one of those utilities that you've never really seen anywhere. I've never heard of any crypto project who's ever done anything like this before. So it's quite unique to us. We're really excited about it as well.
I was just about to say, I've never heard of a crypto project that lets you still take control of your funds after you are dead. That is a first for me, to be honest with you. But I think
it's a game changer.
Go ahead, Alan. Yeah, sorry.
I think it's also, not just something that's new, but also something that's actually pretty cool, because when you think of it in a bigger space, when we speak about Remitly and like MoneyGram and Western Union, typically older people use that. And I know it sounds really bad and it sounds really gruesome, but typically older people use these kinds of services. And I think that kind of, utility in a way where it's like, if you don't act on your wallet within a certain time frame, your money is passed on to someone you trust, I guess. I think it's a little bit, it's quite powerful because, in the UK here, if you die and you don't have a will or you don't have any immediate family, your money goes to the state. And, God knows where that money is going. So the fact that you can, I think it's a pretty cool feature that you can actually delegate somewhere for that money to go, even if it's to nowhere, for example, or another dead wallet. It's better than, I guess, the state taking the money in a way.
Well,
in my opinion.
No, it is. It is. And what's great there is the fact that we're providing that tool, but at the end, you are in control of the decisions of time parameters, of course, where the recipient wallet is registered, what's being sent. And let's say you set these parameters and then obviously, you come back, maybe you're on a little vacation or something. You can always come back, of course, and update it. So even if you set these parameters, you can always manually go in, of course, and change them. So you are in full control over the autonomy of this, but it is simply a tool that is going to absolutely, in my opinion, change. This is why it's our favorite feature, to change the game in the way that the traditional, crypto investor or would-be crypto investor is addressing the question of custody when it comes to long-term thinking. Because everyone has someone that they probably, at least I hope so, hopes their money would go to, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's, I don't know, like a lawyer that can hold those funds for generational wealth, or maybe to give it to a charity. There's something that you would want to do with those. And we never want to think about it, but it's good to have that plan. There's a reason, as Terry mentioned, that, CZ brought this up. It is a real concern. And I'm happy to see that it's been answered here. And that's not even the core project. The project could be just that, and it would probably do insanely well. The fact that this is just a part of the ecosystem is really exciting.
Of course, yeah. And I mean, it's not, like I said earlier, it's nothing that, anyone's ever seen before. And I don't want to be, standing here like I'm endorsing projects or anything, because that's not what our AMAs are for. But it's definitely, something that does spark my interest, and I'm sure sparks a lot of my community's interest as well. And it's really important, especially in the crypto space as well, because everything is so decentralized. It can be good and bad in the same way, especially when things like death unfortunately come around the corner. So it's great to see that that's a utility that you guys offer, and especially that you stay in control and you can constantly update it. If anything does change, I think that's quite powerful. Just being conscious of time here, we'll move on to my next question. So can you guys explain a little bit more about the Flash wallet and Flash Pay as well? I know we've touched a little bit on them, but what will they offer and how will they work?
So basically, the Flash wallet, which we've sort of like touched on, is basically a Web3 custodial wallet with that feature that we mentioned. So now it's, as Adam has pulled up here, it's going to allow holders and merchants to buy, sell, even to some extent, it will allow holders to invest in their cash. So stake, accumulate and earn interest, make purchases and browse the internet too. And yeah, that's basically how it will work in a nutshell. And off the back of that, you've got the dead wallet function as well, which makes it all possible to secure your funds in case of loss. So that's how the Flash wallet is going to work. Terry, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, to make it simple, Flash wallet is a Web3 wallet, such as Trust wallet. That's very simple. because people are really familiar to Trust Wallet or MetaMask, so is actually the same, but with this special function that's called Dead Wallet. That's of course Trust Wallet and MetaMask don't have. So in the Flash wallet, we're going to have some other features. I mean, the NFTs, a lot of things are going to be also in the wallet, and we have already the APK version. Yeah, I've downloaded it. It's already on my phone. Then we're going to put it on Play Store and App Store soon. When I say soon, is really very soon, because this morning CEO was talking about it. So I think it's almost done. So let us expect it like maybe in the next 2 weeks, maybe. Yeah, on App Store and on Google Store. Yeah. Google Play.
I wanted to add to this too, like while, the validation is pending, right, in the finalization of a full Google Play and Apple App Store version, I wanted to just mention, in addition to innovative features such as the Dead Wallet, which you can see by this pretty awesome little face here. I love that. It was mentioned that, of course, this is a dApp browser, so traditional dApp browser, but also in addition to that, right, you're getting the entire suite of features built into this. So just as you would expect from a very easy to use, decentralized wallet, you can stake, you can buy, you can swap, you can receive, you can send. It also has a fiat on-ramp system, of course, which is integral here. And everything is just easy to use, all in one spot. So there's really no excuse for someone that's brand new that wants an option to get into crypto with features that have never been seen before as well. In addition to legacy, there is no other reason why they would not consider, this, at least as an option, right? And what's great is an app also allows for access to be able to kind of, get your feet wet, I guess, right? Okay, yeah, you already have it pulled up. Thank you for pulling that up, by the way. So it gives access to be able to kind of see like what is being built here. Let me dive a little bit deeper. People understand the utility, and then they start to experiment into some of the things we mentioned, right? Being able to get into the FTT token, knowing that that's supporting voting and ongoing support of the ecosystem, basically having access to rev share through revenue generated. You're getting that by holding FTT token. Like it's a gateway. That's how I see apps personally. I'm new to crypto or I'm experiencing crypto. It doesn't matter. It's a gateway into a product. And from there, it expands into all the different aspects of it that can really be helpful. So to me, an app is very helpful. And I love to see that we have it ready. As Terry just showcased there, he had the APK loaded. I think he has a Samsung. Shout out to Samsung. I again, worked for them prior, so I still have their phones. But nice to see, the apps working there. And again, pending for the official Play Store app and the iOS app as well.
Great stuff. I've got a couple questions here about the Flash wallet specifically. So one of them, of course, the Dead wallet and maybe even Flash staking will be part of the integrated in the app, I guess. But sometimes switching wallets can be a bit like switching from iPhone to Samsung. For some people, personally, I use both Trust Wallet and MetaMask, so I'm in dabble in both sides. But will someone have to, will they have to use your wallet to access all of these, features that are within the wallet itself, or can you, for example, have your account on Trust Wallet and be able to manage everything that way?
So what's great is because we're going to be mobile and desktop optimized, you can go on any traditional dApp browser within your wallet of preference and connect to the dApp. So you can do all the feature sets from your own preferred wallet if you choose to, or you can use the wallet provided by Flash Technology. So that's the cool thing. Full flexibility. You don't have to use our app, but of course we want to make it easy by including everything in one that's built in-house, but you do have that flexibility.
Fantastic. And following up to that question, actually, as I can probably see on the screen right now, where it says audited by Certic, I was just about to ask, what security mechanisms have you got in the wallet? Obviously, security is a huge part of crypto and stuff. So how will the security in the wallet work?
Yeah, I just want to react on that. Concerning the security, we are let me say, decentralized, and we are connected directly to the blockchain. So actually, all the wallets need security, that's sure. So that's one of the reasons why we're working with Certic. So we're planning things not only for the token, not only for Flash 3.0, but a lot of things together. And I myself, I'm a Certic affiliate. So we're planning to have, the best security with them. But the funds are not kept by Flash Technologies if you use Flash Wallet. So normally there is no fear about it because the funds are not kept by us. And if you use the money transfer system, the funds are not also kept by us because we work with RIA, the funds are going to pass through RIA, so it is literally going to be the API of RIA. So if we work with Orange Money, is going to be the same as well for Binance. So the security is already there because we work with big companies that already have big levels of security. A company like Binance has like 7 levels of security already. So yeah, but despite that, we're going to work also with the best. We are working already with Certic, and we are going to increase the security, put it to the the best level. There is no 100% security because we see it every day, acts on big platforms. Yeah, but we're going to give at least the minimum security. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, it's good to know as well that not only are you guys very secure yourself in terms of the wallet, but also the security also relies on the providers that you're working for. So I guess it doesn't really put all the weight on just you guys or the responsibility, I guess, which is always pretty good. So you guys are launching a launchpad and also a decentralized exchange, right? Within the app as well, the Flash, DEX. Tell us a little bit more about those utilities and what makes them unique from others, considering there's so many DEXs and launchpads in the space.
Okay. So with the DEX, our Flash DEX, that's basically an all-in-one swap and bridge, and that's going to allow us, basically people like you and I, to swap their crypto from one blockchain to another blockchain. So it's going to be over 20 blockchains, if I'm not mistaken. And the unique thing is it has an aggregator that will search for the best rate at any given point. So that is what makes it really special. So that's the DEX for you. And then obviously,
just really quick, Antonia, I would be remiss not to mention just a 1 point on the DEX. Working for a project a few months ago, actually, that their entire focus of their project was creating a cross-chain aggregated swap. I can tell you this too, from a business standpoint, there are few businesses outside of a decentralized exchange and a launchpad, funny enough, so we're talking about both right now, one after another, that is more profitable. Now, especially as you're going into a bull market, especially with the connections and visibility this team has, this is a no-brainer, right? To see that it's already built out, to see that you have all of the different blockchains there, even some that are a little bit more, I guess, exotic blockchains perhaps, or at least ones that you don't normally see, is great. Here's how, decentralized exchanges really make their money is from positive slippage. They make their money from nominal trading fees. To be able to have this as a feature ad that, again, is built into the app, is built into the web, desktop and mobile optimized site, this is something people are going to use, right? As long as the experience is just as fluid or very close to as fluid as the likes of Uniswap or PancakeSwap, they're already here. You already have the client connected with their wallet. They're going to want to use a solution that's easy to do, especially cross-bridge. So I just wanted to add that in as the perspective of this being a very lucrative business to have yourself, involved in. But Antonia, please, I'll give it back to you.
That's fine. I just remembered something. You don't have, the beauty of this is you don't have to go through a centralized authority or an intermediary. It's all decentralized. So yeah, I just wanted to chip that in. And I think you mentioned the launch pad as well. didn't you, Alan? Now, the Launchpad is basically a decentralized launch pad platform, which is going to be built on several different blockchains that will help, new and old cryptocurrency projects raise funds and obviously gain visibility in the market. And in a nutshell, it's just designed to provide like a secure and a transparent way for projects to launch their tokens, essentially, whilst enabling investors to participate in these launches in a fair way.
And you'll notice there's already partners being integrated. I'll let you guys see that for yourself, but there's already some banner ads there. The other thing too is this is a tie-in to another part of the utility of the Flash Technologies ecosystem is a flash audit, right? We've seen these automatic contract checkers that are at the bottom of pink sale listings and otherwise. Well, again, why not build it into the platform people are already going to be on? So if they're wondering about a contract on the Binance Smart Chain, if they're wondering about a contract on the Ethereum chain, they can plug it in here and check it, and it will give a quick audit of something that they're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, from a personal standpoint, I mean, I've been in this space close to 4 years now, all up in the decentralized finance space, and it's a beautiful space. And I've seen tons of decentralized exchanges and swaps and launch pads and everything. And and in all fairness as well, I've seen tons of aggregated swaps as well. We have 1inch, we have a couple more. But I think what the primary focus is with these additional utilities like the launch pad and like the DEX is not to be different or better, but to provide a easy to use platform for these new people that you're going to market to with the cash to cash kind of market that you're kind of trying to target. I think it's just adding these utilities to make quality of life easier for those who you're going to bring on board, and I think that's totally fine. I think that's fantastic, to be honest. Having all these things branded, a lot of people are very, despite, tons of trust being with, 1inch and other, Pink Sale, for example, and Gempad, having that additional, simple way to, get on board launch pads and get on board DEXs as well, I think is just a beautiful addition to the utilities you're already building.
I think users are feeling the same, right? Just to comment on that last piece there. We know that the Goliath, in fact, I was just hosting a space like literally 2 hours ago talking about this. We were having a roundtable on the news topics of the day. And, we talked about this exact thing where you have these Goliaths that are decentralized exchanges, right? The likes of Uniswap, PancakeSwap, others, BuySwap even. And then you have the aggregators, which is kind of the next step, right? You have, some really great aggregator options, but then you even have meta aggregators, which is kind of like what's being done here, where we're able to go cross bridge, we're able to search for the best price, and it's not just limited to BSC or limited to ETH. What we're seeing is as we get new users in, as we get closer to the Bitcoin halving and to the next bull market, we all know fresh blood is going to come in, right? That's the term you could say, right? New liquidity is going to come in, if you want to say it another way. They want hyper fluidity. They're used to user experiences that are like nothing else. So even though one project could have better tech, or another one could have insufficient technology, but they have a better user interface, a weird thing happens. The one with the better interface wins. It's an interesting battle with people who are not hyper technical, right? And even some that are. Sometimes it's all about the experience and the consistency. So when you can have a experience that's very fluid, that also has great tech supporting it, that's been running for many years and has a visible team. Again, there's always smart contract risk. We're on the blockchain. These are smart contracts, but there's a little bit more certainty there when it comes to, I'm new to crypto. Where do I get started? Where do I feel comfortable? That's what's exciting to me when you look at this entire thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree, honestly, like, especially with the part that you said, usually the one with the best interface wins. I think that, maybe not as a whole that is entirely true, but I think it's definitely a very important aspect. I think user experience is one of the best things, or most important thing, sorry, for any project to focus on. And the easier, the simpler, the quicker it is to do things. Typically, those are the providers that end up winning.
Yep.
Okay, so with in terms of the launch pads and the decks, actually, we didn't touch on this. What are the fees going to look like, and where are those fees going to go?
Terry, did you want to take this one, or either way?
Are you talking about the launch pads, or are you talking about the wallet?
I'm talking about the launchpad and the DEX, or aggregator, sorry.
Yeah, the launchpad and DEX. Yeah, I mean, the fees on the launchpad is not going to be high, because the competition, I mean, we know that the competition is very high. You quoted Pincel, you quoted Gempad, and with a lot of launchpads. So what we are working on is not about really having fees, it's about having users. So the most important, I mean, the goal of the team is to have the maximum users. So the fees is not really going to be something significant. It's going to be like just let me few cents. I mean just for the gas fees. Yeah. So we are for the users. We want to have the volume. This is the most important for the team. The mass adoption. That's what we are working to. So we are going to offer the lowest possible fees. I mean, to be competitive in the market. Yeah.
You could almost consider it like, I like to use this example, kind of like, this is more in the States, right? But we had rideshare apps, right? Back, quite a few years ago when they were first branching out. And we had the likes of Uber effectively come first, right? They had the first mover advantage. But you had the likes of Lyft, which is huge in the States, and I think internationally as well in some pockets. But what they did is they said, wait a second, we have to do free rides, right? We have to do free ride vouchers to do exactly what Terry was saying, but in a different industry, to get the users, get the people to download the app and say, wow, that was great. I never knew I could do that. Or I never knew I could do that for free or at a reduced cost. I like this. I wouldn't mind paying for it the next time, or maybe I'll get a couple times free and then I really enjoy this. What's cool here is it's a little different. It's the strategy of get the users in with the thing that they're worried about the most, fees. But then here's something that's important from the launchpad side, even if you're only charging 1% of raise, that's a huge amount of money. Whereas the competition is charging 4 or 5%, maybe even more. I just had a meeting with actually the CEO last night, in fact, of a major launchpad, not Pincel, but another one, a legacy launchpad, that theirs is 6%. You know what I mean? And they're moving 100,000, every week or so. So imagine that, right? But being able to have just a very small fraction of it, have it be an incentive for developers to be able to launch on your launchpad, and then have the captive audience of Web 2 and Web 3 users who are starting to intermesh with each other. That is a great place to launch a token. And that's also speaking from someone who, I've been in this space since 2021. The first project that I worked on was actually a launchpad. And it got launched from a launchpad, funny enough. It was the first IAO from ApeSwap, their first project that they launched. I worked on that project. So I got to see during the bull market, which was a great insight as my first kind of job in crypto, I got to see the type of projects that come through. I got to see, what fees look like and, what kind of money that can mean, especially in a bull market. It's astronomical, even if it's a lower fee. So just wanted to add that tidbit again as far as, giving perspective on why it's a valuable, feature set here.
Fantastic. Well, just being conscious of time, we'll move on to my next question here. So let's talk about a bit of your NFT collection. So I can see that there's 4 solid use cases that reward holders. So could you guys quickly explain what those use cases are and how the NFTs will work?
Yeah, for the NFTs, our ecosystem is really big. When we came, is actually we were thinking about talking about the main the main utility of our ecosystem. Our ecosystem is so wide. We have NFTs, we have the wallet, we have the DEX, people are really confused when they hear about, us for the first time. That's the reason why we want people to have the image of a money transfer ecosystem, and it's very important that people have this in image. We have the NFT, the NFTs. We have the legendary NFTs. We have a lot. So each NFT has its own utility. There is the airdrop NFTs. There's legendary NFTs. The airdrop NFT gives you, allows you to have, some airdrops. So we have different utilities that are being brought by the different NFTs. But what we want people to have in mind about Flash Technologies is the money transfer ecosystem, for the people not to be lost, because at the end of the AMA, when people hear about this and that, they have so many ideas in their head. So that's the reason why I really want us to be on the money transfer ecosystem. And then for further question, we're going to talk about it again and again in the TG, in the community. We're going to share all other information. We have more things coming. We haven't even talked about Flash Pay, so I just want us to be centered on something so that the people that are listening to us, we at least get something out of the EMA. Yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Cool. Well, I think it's about time we talk about the tokenomics. Just before that, actually, can you guys briefly go over, I know we spoke about the roadmap earlier, but could you briefly just go over what's already been done and what people can expect next?
Yeah, I can cover a good amount of this. So when it comes to kind of where we're at, obviously we're in the pre-sale round right now for the, I guess you could say it, the governance token with extra incentive behind it. It's a pretty substantial extra incentive, but that's in a nutshell. If we look at the roadmap here, you can see it's now nicely outlined by kind of this pyramid structure here. So if we go back, right, this project has been worked on for quite a long time, since 2021, effectively. I won't go through each one of these at a respective time, but you can see from, inception to when this was thought out, all the way through now, what has changed has been partnerships, compliance checks to ensure that we're, doing the right things with the right people so we can scale this properly, and also an expansion into showcasing utility through proof, being able to show that our swaps work, showing that the APK version of the full app is working, and you can, you could actually see it if you go back in the recording today. Terry shared a little snip there in live time on his phone. What we're coming into now is just rounding out the rest of the ecosystem. So of course, launch of our never before seen utility that everyone's really excited for, including myself, Antonio, and the rest of the team, launch of the Dead Wallet. We also, of course, have a launch of Flash payment systems, the Flash and Orange money system integration, and others. So this is where we're really coming to, is where we're seeing the ecosystem finally be finished out in its full form. And now it can really turn on, I guess you could say, the revenue switch, really seeing that there's money coming in, people are able to take part in that success, and there's also a clear delineation of what do I get out of, for example, the FTT token, which we spoke about quite a few times. So that's really where we're at. And of course, now we have the fair launch opened up for the next 3 days plus.
Fantastic. Amazing, guys. Love it. Great. So we'll move on to tokenomics. So can you guys just talk a little bit about how the taxes are going to work on the token, LP locks, supply distributions, is the team going to have any tokens, et cetera, et cetera?
Definitely. Well, here's what's great is Flash Technologies is proudly, zero tax, which is great. So zero tax, total supply on this guy, as you can see, which I always encourage everyone to do, any pre-sale they're getting into or fair launch or whatever, go to what's verifiable on the list page. Always do that before anything. You can see here we're working with 1 billion tokens, FTT tokens. Available for pre-sale is 400 million, just under 200 for liquidity, 200 mil. Starting market cap at its current rate is an insane, let's just call it 24, 25K. Amazing market cap. That's why we've seen so many BNB come in, even just during this hour. I think we had more than 10 or 11 BNB come in just since we've been talking, trending number 1. The important things, though, is you asked specifically liquidity ad percentage. Well, 51% of the raise is going directly into liquidity ad. The other 49% is, of course, going to development, going to finalize the last couple of pieces of the ecosystem that need to be finalized, and, of course, the marketing. The marketing we haven't even talked about. I know we're a little crunched on time here, but let me just list out a few things that the rest of that will be used for. So the likes of, marketing follow-up videos and full reviews from the likes of Ben Crypto, Crypto June, Meta Lindy, obviously KOLs from some of the best. We started here at CryptoFrog. Very happy to be here. Golem's Gems, of course, has a pinned post on it, as well as their new bot system, which is going to allow for Spy DeFi to highlight us in a new way that they haven't really done before. So really cool that Golem's Gems teamed up with us on that. On Sati's presale, which is a Turkish group that is pinning and pushing us. Omar, very well known for his work at Solitaire Prestige, is going to do a TG push for us. And of course, mutual friend of the project, Karan, very good friend of mine as well. He's pushing not only in his private channel, which I've seen big buys come from, but his main chat as well as a manual buy bot as well. So really nice to see. That's just where marketing is right now. There's also quite a bit more. I know I left out Emily, but Emily as well, who's very well known, Emily's Crypto Lounge. But being able to have those leftover funds really allows for even more marketing to happen. And here's what's great too. As you can see by the tokenomic structure here, I should say the pre-sale structure, it does also allow for a buyback of 5%. So whatever's raised, 5% of that is going right back into buybacks on the chart. And the max delay on that is 2 days. So it's not like the team can hold on to those tokens like they would anyways, but that is going right back into buybacks to help to support the chart as well. I refer back to the first token that was launched in this ecosystem, not a different project, but same ecosystem. It did a 5x in a red market. It did not look like it did right now. So just wanted to mention that because those are some of the basic points. Now, when we look at the pie chart here, you can also see 40% allocated for pre-sale. We have a liquidity of just under 20, team of 8, 6 in marketing development. Of course, we have lock tokens here as well in this pie chart. Venture capital, a 6-month lock there at 12%. Centralized and DEX 10%. That's talking about additional decentralized exchanges and of course centralized exchanges, which you need to have tokens for. Staking, because we will have staking in this ecosystem for the FTT token. Partners 1%, and then a very small sliver here for less than 1% for unlock. Terry, did you want to add anything as far as the distribution goes, or what some of the logic was in bringing this together?
Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, what you said is that's it. We made it in a way that all the tokens are locked. I don't know why. You show it unlocked on pink sale, but actually all tokens are locked. But I don't know if it's a bug. But yeah. So the last time, even for Flash 3.0 on ETH, a little part of the supply was unlocked. Some people were like complaining about why it's unlocked, but when a project is there for the long run, there is no fear about it. And the proof, after the launch, we went 5x despite a 165 ETH raise. So yeah, it's perfect what you said about the supply. Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. I think that covers most of my questions in terms of tokenomics. Just one more thing, actually, just a little discrepancy. On the website and white paper, it says 3% buy, 3% sell, but Adam said it's 0.0. So can you just clarify that?
Yeah, it's actually 3% buy and sell. 3% buy and sell, yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Just so I can keep things accurate. Cool. Okay. Quick question from me, actually. We've seen how I guess BSC has been a little bit slow recently. I'm curious to know why you guys decided to launch on the BSC compared to something like Ethereum, for example.
So I can answer some of that. By the way, apologies for that. Got some numbers mixed up there, but 3 and 3. Well, let me just give a quick perspective on, why it's important. What we've seen, and this is, again, if we had to talk about the stars aligning, I don't know of a better time. This is pretty crazy. In the last 2 weeks, we've seen the Binance Smart Chain absolutely wake up as far as token raises, as far as on-chain activity. We're even seeing influencers take part in this, literally tweeting to CZ, make Binance great again. Like literally that tweet I saw trending for about a day, which was crazy. So it's one of those things where, CZ, he ain't worried about anything. He's gotten through how many different FUD, cycles, and he just keeps building and he keeps buying back BNB token. So when it comes to FTT and what's happening right here at Flash Technologies, we're looking to make sure that we're embodying that same energy, buying back this governance token, FTT, based on revenue share, just as Binance does, really sharing in the same ethos of the creator of this blockchain where it lives. And then the other things are obvious as well, right? It's been up and running for basically the longest next to Ethereum, but has been the biggest player when it comes to the low fee blockchains. And it's still low fee, right? You're not spending $20. You're not spending the price of a Chipotle or whatever. If you have those, wherever anyone's listening, like you're not spending that on sending a simple transaction. That is not scalable. That is not scalable for the everyday person. And you might ask, well, we could go to Polygon then, we could go there. Sure. But what has the most activity right now, specifically in the DeFi space? There are some, but it just makes sense with the team's connections, with the way in which they're looking to branch into this space. Also, if you look at the track record of Binance as a company and how they're branching out to not so much parts of Europe or the US especially, but Africa, Asia, they're branching into these areas because they see that there's opportunities. So to be able to mesh these two projects together, it just makes sense. And this blockchain, perfectly, I think, exemplifies that. But Terry, did you want to add anything there? Because I know a lot of work has been done on the back end of kind of partnerships when it comes to Binance and such.
Sorry, before Terry adds anything, I just wanted to point out something. The Binance Smart Chain, everybody knows how to use it. It's user friendly. It's really nice and simple to use. And one thing I have noticed personally for me, and I'm sure for other people, is that it has faster transaction processing times. And I think, as you said, Adam, a reduced transaction fee when you compare it to the likes of Ethereum or anything else out there. And I think that probably makes it a preferred choice at the moment for our project, as well as I'm sure other DeFi projects out there.
Yeah, I was just going to mention the fact that I think the primary reason why you guys have decided to be on BSC is because of the low gas fees. Especially considering your finance model, I guess you want to make it as cheap as possible for people to transfer funds and stuff. And if you are on Ethereum, obviously we've seen Ethereum's gas fees drop a lot recently, but it is considerably more expensive, and it adds on unnecessary fees to just regular old people that want to transfer crypto. Another question I have, which I should probably save for later, but I'll ask it now so I don't forget. In terms of the UK, obviously I'm a UK resident. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Antonio, you are too.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of legislation come in restricting, kind of crypto within the UK, especially considering the current travel ban or travel rules, I guess. So how will you guys kind of adapt to that, and how will that kind of affect what you guys are doing?
I do understand what you're saying, and I did read something a while ago. Was it in July or something? I think it was by the House of Commons or House of Commons Treasury Committee, who put out a paper on regulating crypto. I think that's probably already happening, if I'm not mistaken, especially with the PSD2 rules that have come into play for a lot of companies. And we are totally for that at FTT. And I think one of the key benefits of crypto regulation is obviously the increased protection it offers investors, right? And I think regulatory oversight can also minimize fraudulent activities, scams, and Ponzi schemes, because it imposes stricter compliance requirements on cryptocurrency businesses. And obviously this in turn then enhances consumer confidence and encourages a wider adoption of cryptocurrency. So we welcome extra regulation. We welcome all of that. And that's why we have on board, number one, we've got our legal advisors, we've got our compliance advisors as well, Synapse. I'm sure it's somewhere on our website. They're going to be providing us with obviously the secure onboarding experience on Web3 whilst complying with, the market regulations and all of that. And that's from a KYC, know your customer perspective. And then from a KYB, which is your know your business perspective, they will be instrumental in streamlining our business partners onboarding process. So we've got our partners who are actually looking into the regulatory side of things and making sure that we're complying with the different countries' regulations. So we aim to comply in a nutshell.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the UK has been a very tough place for everything crypto related, which is quite unfortunate. But hopefully, we can see that change very soon. I know the SEC in America has kind of been a little bit more lenient, so maybe they'll convince them slightly. Who knows?
I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to get a little bit more stricter because from the grapevine, though I can't say who, from the PSD2 rules are going to be refined, defined, made a bit more prescriptive than what it is at the moment. So I think they're definitely coming down on cryptocurrency projects and making sure that they're really compliant and making sure that investors are protected. And I think that's a good thing. I think we welcome it anyway. In my opinion, it's a good thing.
Yeah, for me personally, I always say it and people don't like it, but compliance is good. I work in diplomacy, so if you have nothing to hide, why are you against compliance? People ask us always this question: how are you going to operate? I mean, in different countries for the money transfer, we always repeat the same answer. We're going to work according to the compliance. I mean, in those countries, if a country bans crypto, I'm sorry, but there's nothing we can do actually officially. So yeah, we have to work with compliance for a serious company. I mean, this is the base. This is the basics. Yeah, I mean, to work with compliance, to respect laws and regulations. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, in a way, regulation is good. But obviously there's two sides to everything. And I think, especially in the UK, I think they're making it a lot more difficult for the average investor. I mean, we've seen banks banning the ability to even use your card, on Binance or Coinbase. I think compliance, like Terry said, is good. But it has to be friendly compliance. It has to be, compliance where it's like, you can trade and you can invest in crypto and we'll let you do that, but you have to declare this or declare that, which I think is fine. But I think the way that the UK government currently is going, without diving too deep into it, is the wrong path, in my opinion. But we'll see how it plays out.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, unfortunately.
Inevitable.
Inevitable. Well, one last thing. Your white paper briefly mentions holder governance and voting rights. So are you guys developing like a DAO, or what kind of decisions will holders get to vote on? How will it work?
So let me give a few points here, and then feel free to jump in, of course. But I think it's first important to understand, when you look at a decentralized autonomous organization, a DAO, right, you need to understand, is this a hybrid DAO or is this a true on-chain DAO circa 2018? Most projects are not I guess you could say, a quote-unquote on-chain DAO, right? It doesn't make sense to do that because that means code is law. there is no say from the team. It's just whatever the people vote, which sounds good, but you're buying into a project because you believe the team anyways, right? Like you're buying into the team, you're buying into the tech. So you would want the team to be able to leverage their skill sets to make things happen. So I say that to mention that this is a hybrid DAO. It's going to take consideration from users, but then also take the experience, connections, and drive of working along the roadmap that the team has, of course. So I just wanted to mention as far as what type of DAO. Now, as far as what you're going to be able to vote on, I would defer to perhaps Terry, just to see, like, on the back end, what are you hearing from when it comes to from a high level standpoint, what the first votes might be? Or Antonio, of course.
Just to react on what you said. I mean, there is not going to be like a DAO that's the way we see it nowadays. But we have a community, and we know ourselves. I mean, we try as much as possible to know ourselves. The big investors, the people that trusted the projects. So we have some private groups, we have some community where we still, talk together, exchange together, and also can exchange ideas. So the DAO actually is not really going to be like the way we see it, but at least big holders are going to have some power. To have some decision power, maybe some recommendation for the team to, do one or two things. So this is actually what the governance means, but it's not really going to be DAO the way we see nowadays with votes. Yeah, this one maybe could come later, but at the moment we don't have it, for the people not to be confused about too many things at once. Yeah, thank you.
And just to comment on that really quick, that's actually a good thing, right? When you have especially a large group of users who might be Web 2, Web 3, especially for this type of project, you want the team to be able to drive, right? You want them to grab the steering wheel and go because they're competent. But you do want to make sure you're, if you need to steer a little left or a little right, you're getting that insight from the community. So I see it much more as that versus let's completely turn around and go the other direction. That uncertainty leads to project failure, to be quite honest. I've seen it many times. Oh, we're going to bend the knee to the community because they're worried about this or that, even though we're focused on what we have. It almost never leads to the right thing. So I think it's important to understand that.
Yeah, and I agree, because I think to an extent, most people in tokens and cryptos just want to see, the token moon. And, generally in this space, most people are just, to say it very bluntly, after money, which is pretty much how the whole space works and everything. So it's also important to, take into consideration what the community wants, but also, like Adam said, it might not be what's actually best for the project, and no one knows the project better than the team itself. And I've had it happen with my projects as well, where some people are like, oh, well, let's push the chart and let's do this and let's do that. I'm like, yeah, okay, we can do that, but you have to take into consideration the priorities and the thing that will benefit the project not only now, and benefit the chart not only now, but also 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years ahead, which is what you really have to think about in projects like these. So I think it's a good thing, having a DAO in a way that holders and investors get a say over what happens, but not to an extent that that's all that the decision making process is to do with. But yeah, I think that's great. Okay, just being conscious of time as well, I think we have mostly covered everything. Before we start our community questions and Kahoot, just to summarize everything, why would you guys personally consider Flash to be a good project to be part of? Not only on the investor side, but on the user side as well.
Ooh, I'd love to go first. So for me, being able to see, Terry navigate through this space and him being just an absolute professional, I love to see him win because I know other people win too. So from a person standpoint, it gets me excited to see projects of friends that are putting their passion behind what they're doing, and then seeing other people win because they're joining the journey. That's what I see FTT as this entire ecosystem, but especially FTT being this governance token, being something that you can see buybacks from the rev generated. It's very clear, so that's something that I love. But then the other piece is the people. When, again, I mentioned this earlier, but I'll mention it again. When you're buying a project, you're buying the people. Who are the people here? Well, it's not just Terry. He's part of the team, right? But he's not the only part of the team. You can meet everybody here. You can click on their LinkedIn. You can see the whole dev team, which isn't just one guy. It's an entire system here. So knowing the people is tremendous, and many projects don't have that. The other thing is, and this will be where I end here, is just it's answering a real need. Right? We're not generating a need. I always go to this example, which I think is kind of funny, like with Dentacoin back in 2018, right? 2018, 2019, just creating a currency to work for dentists. We don't need that, right? Like, it's not answering like a core thing that people have been wanting to do. The remittance industry and this industry at large, to be able to go, cash to crypto, crypto to cash, but also fiat to cash is tremendous. It's only growing, as we mentioned earlier. And this is something that's perfectly primed for the right ecosystem and group of individuals to really disrupt. And to see that they already have the ties to, Binance, to see the partners that they have ties to when it comes to payment systems and otherwise, it's pretty incredible. So that for me is why I really like the project personally, outside of the people themselves. But I'll pass it over to Antonia, and then I'm sure Terry will say a few words.
I mean, I'm not just saying this because I'm part of the team or anything like that, but genuinely and sincerely speaking, this is probably one of the best, if not top 2 projects that I've been part of, and I'm still part of, obviously. I've seen how hard Terry, the CEO, the co-founder, everybody, literally through to the devs and even the admins, have worked and are still working. Everyone works night and day to obviously make this a success, and everybody loves to be part of a winning team, and we've all contributed in our own little way to make this happen. And I'm really, really excited about it. And I'm also excited about the fact that, when we when I should say the core team, but I'm also part of the team to some degree, when they thought about this idea, they weren't just thinking from a money standpoint. They were thinking about what they could do to make lives easier for people, how we could find gaps and opportunities that would benefit not just the team, but would benefit investors and users. And yeah, that's basically what we found. And we've been working tirelessly for the last 2.6 years to make it happen. And I'm really excited about it from a personal standpoint. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to add to it. And sorry, just to say something else. I mean, I haven't personally seen a lot of projects that have involved lawyers and compliance and have their, projects or their companies registered officially and have CertiK audits. I know a lot of projects do have CertiK, but with us, we literally mean business. We're not here to play. I mean, half of the team, if not more than half, as you can see on our website, are fully doxed. Nobody's hiding behind a screen. All the dev teams are all listed there. I think we've got, God knows how many we've got now, over 10 people working on this to make it happen. So it's not just something that we just felt like doing. It's something that we really want to do and make a change and make a difference and make sure that everybody benefits, both users and people who are willing to, venture capitalists if we ever need that. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to add to this. And over to Terry. I'm sure Terry has something to say.
Yeah. I just want to be short, because we have said it all. Anytime I have the opportunity to talk to the people that want to invest in Flash technologies, I tell them always, don't invest in a token, but invest in a startup that brings utility to the space, a space whereby you see dozens of tokens daily without any utility. So people that invest should consider always investing in a long-term startup. I mean, a startup with utility. So this is the only thing that I always tell people. And also, we say it in crypto, DYOR, do your own research. Yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic. Amazing stuff, guys, honestly. Obviously, like Terry said, everyone needs to always do their own research. And that's why we give teams the chance to voice their projects here and kind of pitch their projects to the CryptoFrog community. And we really appreciate you guys coming on here. It's been fantastic. Honestly, from what I'm hearing, everything is being treated like a business and not being treated like a token. As Terry said, personally for me, these are the kind of investments that I like to make more often than meme coins and meaningless tokens in the space. Being here almost 4 years now, it's crazy. It's crazy the stuff that I've seen. Yeah, so we'll move on to our community questions here. Let me see who we've got here. We got tons of questions down in the comment section. Let's have a look. Wow, we have 70 questions here and probably more. God, we're not going to be able to go through all of these. Okay. Okay, this is a good question. What are the basic criteria and requirements new projects have to possess before getting access to your launchpad? And will it be free or will some fees be attached to it?
Yeah, to make it simple, it's going to be a decentralized launchpad, so anyone can launch any project. The people that invest, they will have to make their own research to choose where to invest. Of course, there are going to be different badges, so the investors have to make his choice based on the research. Yeah. So the fees are going to be what we see in the space or even lower because, as I said before, the competition is very, very high. So like for instance, on BNB, most of the time create a pool is around 1 BNB, usually, averagely on Launchpad, so 1 BNB, 1.5 BNB. So yeah, this is going to be approximate fees because I can't say anything fixed now because it hasn't been decided, but it can't be more than what we see in the space now.
It's going to be as low as possible, isn't it? As Terry said earlier on, the aim is mass adoption. So, because when people hear about launch pads, they just assume that, launch pads are going to charge an arm and a leg. If I do say so myself, but as Terry said, it's going to be very little. And the aim is mass adoption. So to whoever who asks that question, you might have a project in mind. Feel free to DM Terry if you've got something that you'd like us to host on our launchpad.
Fantastic, great. Move on to the next question here. Okay, another good question. Will the Flash project be offering a referral module system to its holders and projects to refer others to its KYC offerings and earn from it?
Ooh, okay. Let me mention what's available right now, and then perhaps Terry or Antonia, if you'd like to fill in on the platform side. When it comes to word of mouth spread, I am so passionate about this. Quick little backstory. It'll be super quick, I promise. I made my first money in 2021 through word of mouth. It was actually through a YouTube video that was explaining a project that I wanted to get into. Funny enough, it was a launchpad, a different launchpad. It was a BSC pad, funny enough. Huge, it ended up being a huge launchpad. I found out about it through what I would say word of mouth, and not even an influencer, just someone who wanted to do a review on it. I said, this looks interesting. I made my first money there, which I was so happy about. And that got me hooked. So think about this. If you like this project, if it makes sense to you, if a question is being answered fundamentally from an investment standpoint of getting behind it, then why not have the team pay you for the work of spreading? Have the team pay you. We will pay you, right? The team will pay you through this affiliate system. That's the beauty of these new affiliate links that PinkSale provides each project the ability to do. So 5% you refer out, and you're able to earn on the contributions of whoever clicks that and then makes contributions. And in fact, right now, where are we sitting at? We have a total of total ref amounts of just under 21 BNB. That's not going to the project. In fact, that's going to the referrers. So the power of word of mouth is very powerful. This is how things gain traction. This is how metas are made. This is how attention is brought in this attention economy we're in. So there is something you can do right now to spread the word. And it's as simple as copying your affiliate link once you connect your wallet and then spreading it. But I'd love to pass it over to the rest of our panelists today to mention on platform once it's live, specifically like the Launchpad or otherwise, how you're going to be able to spread your link.
Fantastic. Great stuff, guys. Very off topic here, I guess, but latest news is Ethereum just arrived, which is lovely stuff.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Just
yes,
now?
really.
Yeah.
Have a look at their market cap.
Yeah. This is a rug because it went minus 70% within 10 minutes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. They've launched. They had a 700 ETH pre-sale. They had a 700 ETH pre-sale for a safe pad, and they launched it early.
This is a rug, clearly.
Anyway, sorry, off topic here. We'll get back on topic. That's unfortunate. I put 0.5 ETH into their safe pad pre-sale. Well, welcome to crypto.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Were they docked?
God knows what they want. But anyways, another question here. So this is a question directed to Adam. I'm a big fan of your work, and most projects you work with tend to do very well. In comparison to all the projects you have worked with in the past, how does Flash compare? Is Flash your #1 favorite project?
I have fans out there, huh? Well, thanks for that. I appreciate that. Here's what I'll say. I try to be an impartial mover in all this space. What I will say though, and I did say this by the way for Flash 3.0 even before it listed its liquidity, I love the team behind this. I can say unequivocally, I love the team behind this. This is, and there's very few teams I would do this for. This is a team that I would join the core team on if they had any vacancies. Right now, they have a full team from what I understand. But if there were vacancies, I would join this to be able to drive and help how I can. Now, of course, it doesn't seem like they really need that right now, but I say that for you to understand, like, this is a high quality project. Now, let me put a little asterisk next to that. Does that mean, hey, mortgage your house, buy it right now because Adam likes the team? No, of course not, right? Do your own due diligence, see if it makes sense for you. But the fundamentals here, check. The team's still around. They're building. Not just are they still around, they're on AMAs right now. The team is doxed as well. You can click on their LinkedIn. You can see them. There's about 5 to 10 of these caliber of projects in the entire decentralized crypto space that you will have access to be able to invest in. It's up to you if you want to take that leap or not. But I can say, yeah, it's definitely my top 10 for sure. Again, not financial advice, do your own research, but I do definitely like the team and the product for sure.
Fantastic. Great to know. Fantastic. Move on to another question here. There's so many questions here, guys. I'm so sorry we can't answer all of them. But if your question doesn't get answered, I'm sure the team will be happy to answer it in their Telegram. So let's have a look and pick another question. Oh, here's a good question. It's just lagged out though. Okay. My question is that what is your biggest obstacle? Many projects look great only on their white paper and roadmap, but face many difficulties when trying to implement their project mission. How does Flash overcome every obstacle in its project development?
Yeah. Let me answer this. Yeah, concerning the obstacles, one of the biggest obstacle is, as we talked about before, the regulation. This is really a big obstacle because it differs. In countries. In France, they can accept it, and you go to somewhere in Asia, they ban crypto, or they don't accept anything crypto related, or some apps are banned in some countries. So one of the most difficult thing at the moment is the regulation. Because our first goal is the mass adoption, is to have the maximum users, and to so that everywhere in the world, people can talk about Flash transfer the same way they talk about MoneyGram or they talk about RIA. So the regulation is one of the biggest obstacle. And the second one, to build such an ecosystem, you really need financial support. You need a big financial support for all these things. If you think about like having physical agencies, people, working staffs, so it's also requires a lot of money, really. When you see the amount of development, I always say it. Concerning the development we have done so far, I said it's already over 250,000 that we make in development, and we haven't even started. So it's something that costs a lot. And yeah, the regulation aspect. That's it.
Just to add to that on the regulation piece, I know that globally, I know that there are just different approaches, I guess, to cryptocurrency regulation. And I know a lot of countries have embraced it and they've realized this potential benefits or economic benefits, or, that sort of thing. For example, countries like, say, Switzerland, Japan, I know personally have comprehensive regulatory frameworks, and these countries tend to focus on consumer protection, AML, financial crime, KYC compliance, just making sure that everything is tight. And on the other hand, you've got some countries that take more like a cautious approach, like implementing like stricter regulations or even banning cryptocurrency essentially. And I know some of these countries have like concerns around money laundering, tax evasion, and investor protection have fueled all these measures. And I think, is it China? There's always something going on with China. I think China and India have probably taken maybe some steps to, ban some crypto related activities. And I guess that's the biggest challenge, being able to comply. But at the same time, well, we welcome compliance. We're all about compliance. So it's us working together with our compliance partners to just make sure that everything is as it should be, and making sure that there's no room for errors, essentially. So for me, that's the biggest challenge from a regulatory perspective, because the crypto regulations keep evolving all the time. In the earlier days, there was lack of, regulatory guidance. And then now we've got different types of guidances from different countries. So it's just all about understanding, the guidance and making sure that we comply with guidances issued by different countries. That's basically it for me.
Fantastic. Lovely. Yeah, I mean, that was going to be my next question actually in terms of regulatory stuff. But great stuff, guys. I'm trying to load up another question here, but there's so many questions that Telegram is physically bugging out. So I'm gonna ask two more questions here from the community, and then we'll move on to our giveaway portion. Okay. Barry asks, you mentioned about user-friendly UI. So my question is, how have the developers of Flash Technologies worked towards developing/designing a seamless user experience with a clear onboarding process, easy to use interface, and responsive customer support?
Well, I mean, I can give my insight here. So when it comes to user interface that makes sense in the navigation process, I mean, you have to make something that's very similar to what you've already experienced, right? So if this is something that's dealing with, banking, if this is something dealing with, fiat on-ramp or off-ramp, it should probably be as fluid as your favorite banking app, if not better, to be honest. It should be better, actually, right? So that way it's almost unidentifiable that this is, a startup, right? And again, I'm happy that, Terry mentioned, this is investing in a startup. It is investing in a startup. That's what you're doing, right? But to be able to have a startup that has a very clean flow to it, has a great product stack, and has a team that's able to actually deliver, those are the companies that, Silicon Valley startups, try to be, right? Those are the type of companies also that these, the likes of Y Combinator and otherwise, they're the ones that they invest in. People that have teams that have their stuff together, basically. So when it comes to, again, just bringing back to the question of, what do you need? Well, you need a user interface that makes sense. You need a process that also makes sense for the problems you're, encountering. And if you're able to, present solutions to that, then you win customers. And when you win customers, they stay in your ecosystem, right? They're going to continue to keep the app installed. Those that are very crypto savvy are going to continue to keep their wallets connected when they want to use the services, and you grow your user base. Pairing that also with low fees, there's a reason to come back. So I would say it's that process of making it very fluid for the user, and then also incentivizing the word of mouth spread. And when it comes to customer service, I know with a team of this size, being able to, expand into an entire customer service suite of, hey, if you need help, you can click, a little pop-up to get to someone. It can easily scale to something like that. It actually doesn't cost as much as you might think to be able to have, either an AI option or an AI people option, which is usually the best when it's a hybrid. You can do that with a real company, and that's definitely something that would exist in this.
Fantastic. Great, guys. We'll take one more question here from the community and we'll move on to our giveaway section. It's been a fantastic AMA so far. Definitely one of our longer ones for sure, but definitely there's clearly very much to speak about. Let's have a look. Okay, yeah. What measures has Flash implemented to mitigate the risks of regulatory scrutiny and legal challenges in light of the SEC's increased scrutiny of the cryptocurrency market? I think we've touched a little bit on the regulation, but we'll add on to that.
Just to add to that, I know we've touched on regulations. I did maybe briefly mention, if I didn't, apologies. We have teamed up with our legal advisors, and I think their details are on our website as well, Osborne and Clark. They are hot, basically. We have lawyers on board, all over the world, and they are in 25 different locations. So for anything legal related to protect both our investors and ourselves, we will be relying on them. So we've got that covered as well.
Fantastic.
And also, just going back to what was said earlier, right? We're not afraid of regulation, right? That's actually a good thing. It helps this space. And when you have compliance checked off and you're not worried about making a mad dash at the end to make sure you're compliant, it's a good place to be, because the full focus should be on building the product the best possible and not worrying about, oh, what happens if, regulations change and we don't even have a legal team, right? So I think that is something important to look at, especially if you're looking to build a global brand.
Fantastic. Amazing stuff, guys. Well, I'll leave it there for the questions. I'm conscious of time, and I understand you guys are also busy and need to get places too. Well, I really appreciate it. We're going to move on to our community giveaway section. So you guys are free to stay or up to you guys, really. But I do want to say thank you guys for coming on here and really voicing, Flash and the ecosystem you guys have. Whether I'm going to be personally investing, I think I'm definitely going to throw in a decent chunk of BNB, depending on how much you guys raise. But looks like we've raised almost 20 BNB just through this AMA so far. So
just in this stuff. AMA, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that is a testament to right place, right place, right project, right team. That's what you just saw right now. So thank you for hosting us.
Exactly. Thank you so much, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot, Alan.
All right, guys. I think we'll leave the recording there. Wow,